have fun, we have fun, we have fun when we please. We wake up with the sun in our eyes. It's no surprise that we get so much done, but we always, yes we always have fun. Yes we always have fun. Why would you live anywhere else? Why would you live anywhere else? We've got the ocean, got the babes, got the sun, we've got the waves. This is the only place for me. So leave your coat behind. We're gonna make it to the beach on time. Yeah, leave the coat behind. We're gonna make it to the beach on time. Why would you live anywhere else? Why would you live anywhere else? We've got the ocean, got the babes, got the sun, we've got the waves. This is the only place. This is the only place. This is the only place. This is the only place for me.
Hey, what's up, Funkheads? This past Saturday was Free Comic Book Day, and I had never gone to Free Comic Book Day. I don't think that was a thing when I was a kid, and I'm glad fellow YouTuber Franklin McGinnis reminded me that this past Saturday was Free Comic Book Day, or else I would have completely forgotten again. So thanks, Franklin. I wanted to go to mainly check out, what was going on with everything, what exactly it was, and I wasn't really planning on grabbing any free comic books for myself. I actually took the youngest pop hunter in the family with me. Shout out to Gia, and she had a blast. I think we were both surprised by how many people were there, and there was actually people in costumes. There were some stormtroopers, some TIE fighter pilots, Galactus, Spider-Man, Spider-Woman. Pretty cool. And she got to take pictures with everybody. It was a really fun time for her, and she was able to grab a big handful of comics. But yeah, once I got there, they had kids bags and adults bags, and I'm not sure if all the shops did it this way, but this one in particular had, I think 4 comics in the adult bag, 4 or 5 comics, and then you were able to pick 4 individual comics from the table that they had there. And the ones that came in the bag were Wonder Woman, and I haven't read any of the newer Wonder Woman stories, so I'm kind of excited to check out what this new Wonder Woman is up to. Pretty nice art in there. And then also this Secret Empire. I'm not sure what this is. Must be some new event going on in Marvel. But yeah, I'm going to check that out too. I want to say that one of the last Funko boxes had a Secret Empire comic book in there. Maybe the Guardians box. And also the Tick. I used to watch the Tick as a kid. It was pretty funny. It took me a little bit to get into it because I just thought it was kind of weird at first. And I think it was more meant for adults, but I still liked how just bizarre it was. So kind of excited to check this out as well. It's pretty nice art. This, I have no idea what it is. I hate Image. I mean, it looks alright. Kind of really crazy artwork. Looks like Spawn there. Yeah, kind of interested to check out what exactly that is. And some new Guardians of the Galaxy comic. And I also haven't read any of these modern Guardians of the Galaxy comics, so kind of interested to check out this one as well. And this is the first one of the ones that I picked myself. I just thought this looked really cool, even though I have no idea what it is. But I thought the artwork looked really, really nice, really intricate. And it's got that like steampunk style to it, which is pretty cool. I mean, look at that artwork. Really nice. And this one, I'm probably the most excited to read. And this is actually really nice. It's got a nice heavy cover to it, not the typical kind of comic book cover. It actually feels like the kind of cover that you feel like on an actual, like a novel, like a paperback novel. The Incal by Jodorowsky and Mobius. Looks super interesting to me. Really some really high quality art. Can't wait to check out this story. And yeah, it was pretty awesome to be able to pick up that one. And then this, this is probably going to have a really horrible story, but you know, it's Street Fighter and kind of just wanted this for the zany artwork, really. And lastly, Rick and Morty. I had no idea they actually had a comic book, so this is going to be interesting. This might be addicting. I could see myself getting a subscription to Rick and Morty, because it is endlessly rewatchable, the show, so I'm sure that the comic books are endlessly readable. So yeah, that was the ones I got. I didn't get a whole, you know, a whole terrible amount. I'm pretty sure I could have gone to like other comic book stores and everything like that, but we were actually there for like 2 hours, man, because the line was unbelievably long. I'm not sure if you were able to tell on the beginning part of my video, but there was tons of people. It took about an hour and a half before we even got into the store. And then once we got into the store, that was another line. But it was fun. It was fun to see all the people. And I mean, we were just laughing to ourselves because we were surrounded by like the hugest nerds ever. And they were just arguing about the nerdiest things. And it's just funny. You know, people are hilarious to me. So yeah, Free Comic Book Day was a good time overall. I'm probably going to go next year. And of course, I couldn't help myself from checking out the Pops. And I believe this one actually came out on Free Comic Book Day. And this is the gold and white Iron Fist. Looks really cool. I really wanted this one after I saw it. I wasn't initially planning on getting this one. It was just kind of a nice surprise that he was released the same day. But once I saw how nice his gold paint job looked and his translucent fists, I just had to pick him up. And everything was 20% off at that comic book store, so it's kind of a no-brainer to pick up this Iron Fist. And I also picked up the TIE Fighter pilot, the original one, because I had the one from The Force Awakens, but I never had this TIE Fighter pilot. And actually, Gia was the one that saw this one, pointed it out. She knew I didn't have it. It was a good price, so picked up this guy as well. And then after the comic book store, we cruised on over to Hot Topic. And man, did they have a ton of these. I want to say they had like 40 of them. They had some in the shelf. They had some by the register. There was a ton of L from Death Note. And this really is a cool exclusive. This is him eating the sweet cake. I really like when they add some personality in these kind of subtle ways to the Pops. And it looks really good. Although you should be careful if you're going to pick up this L or if you're going to order it online. I noticed that a lot of them had really super sloppy hairlines. The paint job on the hairline, a lot of that black was bleeding over to his white face or kind of splattered over. Really bad. I mean, I looked through a lot of them. I mean, I think I looked through 10 of them before I found one with a decent paint job. So be aware of that if you're going to buy L. And also at Hot Topic, I picked up the new Peter Pan. This is definitely an improvement over the original because he is in this flying pose. And what's really cool is, I don't know if you can tell here, but his stand has a glitter on it. So, you know in the cartoon when Peter Pan's flying, you see the glitter dropping off from behind them when the kids are flying. So that was a really nice touch that they didn't have to do. And yeah, it's a very nice pop, and it's totally appropriate that Peter Pan would be in this action pose flying. And he turned out pretty good. He's simple, but looks just like Peter Pan. And I'm glad I was able to pick this one up too. There wasn't very many with these actually. There was only about 2. And definitely one of my favorite pops to come out in a while. This Tony Stark in his street clothes and his glasses. Totally, totally awesome. I love Tony Stark. And this is one of my new favorite pops of him. I like how he's wearing those All-Stars. The cat on his shirt. He's got the hand in his pocket. Totally, he's got the swagger of Tony Stark. Really glad I was able to find this one as well. And he wasn't very hard to find either. They had a whole bunch of him. And he is a common, so he should be easy to find. And I noticed that for the most part, all the paint jobs were pretty good on Tony. So yeah, that was it. 5 pops, a whole bunch of comics. It was a pretty fun day. I definitely recommend checking out Free Comic Book Day in the future. Especially if you have kids, I think they'll have a really good time. Definitely do your research and don't just go to some dinky little comic book store. Go to a nice big one with a nice professional setup, because there were so many people at this one that I feel if I would have gone to a less organized comic book store, it just would have been annoying and frustrating. But they did a really excellent job at Fantastic Comics. Should probably mention them too. Fantastic Comics in Berkeley. Really good job with Free Comic Book Day. Beautiful store. Alright guys, let me know in the comments below if you went out to Free Comic Book Day, if they do it the same way as Fantastic Comics did with some of the comics in a bag, and then you get to pick 4, or whatever else you want to say. Thanks for watching, and have a great weekend.